Have you ever wondered why your honesty, your openness, your genuine desire to do good often leaves you feeling exposed, manipulated, or even defeated? You strive for transparency, believing it is the path to trust and success. Yet, time and again, you find yourself at a disadvantage, vulnerable to those who operate in the shadows, those who understand a different kind of power. Why does showing your hand, revealing your true intentions, so frequently backfire in a world that claims to value sincerity? Consider for a moment the relentless pursuit of being seen, of being heard, of perpetually showcasing your every thought, your every move. We are told to be authentic, to be transparent, to share our journey. But what if this very transparency is a weakness, an open invitation for others to exploit your vulnerabilities? What if the most powerful individuals are not those who broadcast their every intention, but rather those who master the art of concealment? This might sound counterintuitive, perhaps even disturbing. It challenges the very fabric of modern self-help narratives that preach complete openness. Centuries ago, a man named Niccolo Machiavelli, whose name has become synonymous with cunning and power, offered a chillingly pragmatic truth. He warned against the naivete of perpetual honesty. He suggested that sometimes, in order to truly win, in order to protect your interests, and achieve your objectives, you must learn to hide. You must master the invisible power. Is it possible that the very virtues we champion, honesty, directness, and complete transparency, are precisely what make us weak in a world not always governed by fairness? What if silence, discretion, and the ability to operate unseen are your most formidable weapons? But what if true strength lies not in overt display, but in subtle, strategic concealment? This is not a call to deception for its own sake, nor an endorsement of malice. Instead, it is an exploration of a profound, often uncomfortable truth about human nature and the dynamics of power. It is about understanding that in a complex world, sometimes the most effective way to navigate, to protect yourself, and to achieve your aspirations, is to learn the invisible power of strategic concealment. Imagine this scenario, one that might feel uncomfortably familiar. You are in a team meeting at work. A new project is being discussed, and you have a brilliant idea, a truly innovative approach that you have spent hours refining. You are excited, passionate, and eager to share. So, you articulate your vision with enthusiasm, laying out every detail, every potential benefit. You believe in the power of open collaboration, of sharing knowledge freely. However, as you speak, you notice a subtle shift in the room. A colleague, perhaps someone who has a history of taking credit for others' work, listens intently, occasionally nodding. They offer no immediate feedback, no challenge, just a silent absorption of your detailed plan. Later that week, during a presentation to senior management, this very same colleague presents a remarkably similar idea, almost identical in its core concepts, but subtly rephrased, making it sound like their own original thought. Your contribution is minimized, if acknowledged at all. You feel a bitter sting of betrayal, a profound sense of injustice. Or perhaps consider a social situation. You have a personal goal, a dream you are working tirelessly towards. Out of excitement, or perhaps a desire for support, you share every step of your journey with friends or family. You speak openly about your progress, your challenges, your aspirations. You pour out your heart, believing in the power of shared vulnerability. Yet, over time, you notice subtle shifts. Perhaps a friend starts subtly undermining your efforts, or an acquaintance attempts to copy your idea, or the constant public scrutiny adds an unexpected layer of pressure that stifles your creativity. The very act of openly sharing your path, intended to foster connection, inadvertently creates obstacles, or invites undue interference. Why do our best intentions often lead to our greatest disappointments? These are not isolated incidents. They are common occurrences, in a world where information is power, and where human nature, with its complexities of competition, envy, and self-interest, remains constant. We are taught that being an open book is a virtue, a sign of trustworthiness. But when you are an open book, every page is accessible, every vulnerability exposed, every strategy laid bare, for anyone to read, to copy, or to exploit. Your transparency, rather than building bridges of trust, becomes a blueprint for those who seek to gain an advantage. You are left wondering, why does this keep happening to me? And how can I protect myself, without becoming cynical or dishonest? The answer, surprisingly, lies in understanding the invisible power that Machiavelli wrote about centuries ago. Here is the hidden truth, a truth that often feels uncomfortable, because it contradicts our modern ideals. Visibility is not always power. Sometimes, invisibility is the ultimate power. Machiavelli, in his seminal work The Prince, did not advocate for reckless deception for its own sake. Instead, he presented a pragmatic view of power dynamics. He observed that leaders, and by extension, any individual navigating a complex world, must understand the art of strategic concealment. Machiavelli understood that revealing too much, too soon, is akin to showing your entire hand in a high-stakes poker game. He wrote, "A wise ruler ought never to keep faith, when by doing so it would be against his interest." This is not an instruction to be faithless, but a profound insight into the realpolitik of human interaction. It implies that your actions should be driven by your objectives, and sometimes, those actions require a degree of discretion, a strategic withholding of information. What if the most effective defense is a well-placed silence? Let us integrate this with a legal mindset. In law, a skilled attorney understands the concept of privilege and discovery. You do not reveal every piece of information at the outset. You strategically present your case, carefully selecting what to disclose and when, always with the overarching objective in mind. Premature disclosure can weaken your position, provide ammunition to your adversaries, or even undermine your entire strategy. Similarly, in your personal and professional life, knowing when to hold back, when to observe rather than immediately react, is a powerful tool. It is about understanding the information asymmetry that exists in every interaction. Now, let us intertwine this with mindfulness. Mindfulness, at its core, is about observing without immediate reaction, about creating a space between stimulus and response. When you are mindful, you are less likely to impulsively reveal your intentions or react emotionally to provocations. Instead, you create a buffer, a zone of quiet observation. This inner stillness allows you to assess the situation, to understand the motivations of others, and to choose your actions deliberately, rather than being swept away by the immediate urge to explain, defend, or boast. Consider Machiavelli's emphasis on appearance. He noted that a leader must sometimes appear to possess certain virtues, even if they do not always genuinely embody them. This is not about being fake. It is about managing perception. In the modern world, this translates to understanding your personal brand, and how your words and actions are perceived. It means sometimes allowing others to draw their own conclusions, rather than feeling compelled to clarify every single aspect of your being. Is your need to be understood undermining your ability to win? The hidden truth is that transparency is a double-edged sword. While it can foster genuine connection with the right people, with the wrong people, or in the wrong context, it becomes a liability. Machiavelli's wisdom, when viewed through a modern lens, is about self-preservation and strategic navigation. It is about understanding that not everyone has your best interests at heart, and that protecting your vulnerabilities is not cynicism, but a form of intelligent self-care. It is about recognizing that your silence can be a shield, and your discretion, a sword. It allows you to operate with an invisible advantage, making your moves while others are still trying to decipher your intentions. This principle applies not just to grand political schemes, but to everyday interactions, negotiations, career advancements, and even personal relationships where boundaries are crucial. So, how do we apply this invisible power in our daily lives? without becoming manipulative or disingenuous. Here are 5 practical principles, drawn from Machiavelli's insights, combined with modern wisdom, that will empower you to win by learning to hide strategically. Number 1. Stop reacting. Start reflecting. The immediate urge to explain, to defend, or to justify yourself is often a significant vulnerability. When you react instantly, you reveal your emotional state, your insecurities, and your true intentions. Instead, cultivate the habit of pausing. This is where mindfulness becomes your greatest ally. When confronted with a challenging question, a provocative statement, or an unexpected request, resist the impulse to provide an immediate answer. Take a breath. Allow yourself a moment, even if it is just a few seconds, to reflect. Ask yourself, what is the true intention behind this question? Or what is the desired outcome here? This pause, this silent reflection, gives you immense power. It allows you to gather your thoughts, to choose your words deliberately, and to avoid being cornered into a disadvantageous position. Remember, silence is not emptiness. It is the space where strategic thought occurs. Number 2. Maintain strategic ambiguity. Not every detail needs to be shared. Not every opinion needs to be voiced. There is immense power in strategic ambiguity. This means sometimes allowing others to wonder, to speculate, to fill in the blanks. It is about speaking in generalities, when specifics could be weaponized. It is about keeping your future plans close to your chest, especially in competitive environments. When you reveal all your intentions, you give your competitors a roadmap. When you remain strategically ambiguous, you force them to guess, to expend energy, and to remain on the defensive. This is not about lying. It is about not oversharing. Think of it as a need-to-know basis for your own life and aspirations. Number 3. Master the art of observation. The silent detective. Before you act, before you speak, observe. Machiavelli was a keen observer of human nature. He understood that understanding others' motivations, their strengths, and their weaknesses, was crucial for effective action. Become a silent detective in your own life. Listen more than you speak. Watch body language. Pay attention to what is not being said. The less you talk about yourself, the more you can learn about others. This allows you to gather intelligence, to understand the true dynamics at play, and to identify potential allies and adversaries, without revealing your own hand. This silent observation is a foundational step before any strategic move. Number 4. Build your inner fortress. Emotional resilience. The ability to hide, to be strategic, requires emotional resilience. You cannot be easily swayed by external validation, by the need for constant approval, or by the fear of being misunderstood. When you are emotionally robust, you are less likely to compromise your long-term strategy for short-term emotional gratification. This involves understanding your own triggers, managing your emotional responses, and not allowing your feelings to dictate your public actions. A calm, composed demeanor, regardless of inner turmoil, is a powerful form of concealment. It prevents others from exploiting your emotional vulnerabilities. Number 5. Act decisively, without fanfare. When the time comes to act, do so decisively, and without unnecessary fanfare. Machiavelli valued swift and effective action. This means once you have reflected, observed, and strategically planned, you execute your moves with quiet confidence. Do not announce your victories before they are achieved. Do not broadcast your intentions before they are solidified. Let your actions speak for themselves. The greatest impact often comes from quiet, consistent execution, rather than loud pronouncements. This quiet decisiveness creates an aura of competence and power that is far more impactful than any boastful display. The invisible power of Machiavelli is not about becoming a heartless manipulator. It is about becoming a master of your own narrative, a strategist of your own life. It is about understanding that in a complex world, sometimes the most profound strength lies not in overt display, but in subtle, strategic concealment. It is about realizing that your silence can be your greatest asset, your discretion your most formidable defense. By learning to hide, to reflect before reacting, to embrace strategic ambiguity, to observe keenly, to build emotional resilience, and to act decisively without fanfare, you gain an unparalleled advantage. You move with purpose. You protect your vulnerabilities. And you navigate the intricate dance of human interaction with a newfound sense of control. You stop being a reactive pawn and begin to operate as the architect of your own destiny. What if your quiet confidence is the loudest statement you can make? This journey requires courage. It requires letting go of the constant need for external validation and embracing an inner strength that is not dependent on public display. It is about understanding that sometimes the most powerful presence is an invisible one. When you master the art of strategic concealment, you are not disappearing. You are becoming an even more potent force, operating from a position of strength and clarity. The power to win, to truly thrive, lies not in constantly revealing your hand, but in mastering the invisible power of strategic concealment. It is a wisdom that has stood the test of time, and it is a key to unlocking your true potential. In a world that often rewards the strategic over the sincere. If this exploration of Machiavelli's invisible power has resonated with you, if it has sparked a new way of thinking about how you navigate your world, then I invite you to engage with this conversation. What are your thoughts on strategic concealment? Have you experienced situations where being too open has put you at a disadvantage? Share your insights in the comments below. If you found value in this discussion, please consider giving this video a like, to help it reach more individuals seeking to understand these profound principles. And for more deep dives into philosophy, psychology, and modern wisdom that can empower your life, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thank you for watching. Continue to learn, continue to reflect, and continue to master your own invisible power.